They just flipped on the stimulus package once again after some major changes. I have all the details and updates for you in this video, so let's get into this right away. But if you haven't done so yet, or if you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video so I can keep you updated each and every day with all of this information that is changing so incredibly fast. I know that it's very confusing out there, but don't worry, I'm doing all the research every single day on your behalf, and I distill it all down into these short condensed videos, which I deliver a few times each and every day so that you can stay tuned with all of these updates in real time as they are happening. So again, thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button right down below the video, and let's get into this right away. Alright, so as we know, yesterday in an interview, Joe Manchin was out and said that his vote on the stimulus package is a solid no. Well, shortly thereafter, as we talked about yesterday, they were coming out of the woodwork, many different Democrats, and roasting Joe Manchin for this decision and for what he was actually commenting on this package. Well, between then and now, just a little over 24 hours, a lot has changed. Here's what's going on. So, as I mentioned yesterday, I said, don't worry about it. They're still going to come together on this bill. They will eventually get it passed. This is just the process that we typically go through. There's a lot of back and forth. Somebody says, I'm not voting for it. Meanwhile, other people come out and say, we've got to make changes. This is just part of the negotiation process. Although this time it did get extended out a little bit longer than we were anticipating, but it's all pretty much within par, pretty much exactly what we were anticipating, right? This comes as no surprise. So, let's quickly talk through what some of these changes are and what Joe Manchin is mentioning now. So, a day later, a little over a day later, Joe Manchin was once again out in a separate interview earlier today, and there's also been some talk back and forth between the White House and different people as far as Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Joe Manchin. There's a lot of different people out there right now making statements. So let me tell you what actually happened. So yesterday, Nancy Pelosi sent out a Dear Colleague letter to all of the Democratic representatives, once again pretty much reiterating, hey, we're fine, we'll get through this, don't worry about it. Chuck Schumer also sent out a letter to all of the Democratic senators, once again reiterating that he will be bringing the vote to the floor in the Senate, and he's going to be holding every single senator on record as far as their voting goes, just like what we saw out of Bernie Sanders yesterday. Remember that statement? So Bernie Sanders, shortly after Joe Manchin was out yesterday, he basically said, hey, let's hold a vote and let's hold him on the record in front of the entire world as far as what the vote actually is. So Chuck Schumer has echoed that once again today, and he has pretty much reiterated the exact same thing that Bernie Sanders called on yesterday, which is he will be bringing that to the floor and holding a vote on it, and then we can see where this actually goes. So again, this is kind of what we've been waiting for. The vote was supposed to be held this week, so what are we waiting for, right? So they're supposed to have that done this week anyway, so not really sure why he's coming out with this breaking announcement saying he's going to bring it to the floor when that was the plan anyway. So maybe you should just do it, right? So anyway, they've reiterated that and said that they will be bringing it and voting on this thing anyway. So Joe Manchin has also come out and basically said he wants a few changes to this package in order to get his support. So here's what he wants to do. He wants to revisit this bill and actually change a few things about it and then run it through the committees. And then the committees would actually kind of talk about it, debate on this thing, and figure out actually the best approach going forward on this thing and actually get the necessary support on the package before actually bringing it to the floor and voting on it. So that's one of the requests, is he wants to run it through the committees and see where this thing stands after that. Next, he also wants to add a couple provisions, whereas he wants to repeal or roll back the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Now, that was something that was passed back in 2017, which offered some tax breaks for businesses, corporations, individuals, things like this, and he wants to roll some of that back. He also wants to negotiate in and have it a little bit easier for prescriptions to be priced out as far as negotiating on prescription pricing. So that's something else that is important and that he wants in there as well. Now, when it comes to the child tax credit payments, these are the monthly checks that are going out, well, that the last check went out just a few days ago, but those would continue to go out through the end of 2022 as actually introduced and actually within the House version of the bill. Now, Joe Manchin is in favor of this. He wants those checks to continue going out. However, he does want to have some income parameters wrapped around it. In other words, he thinks that anybody earning over $200,000 shouldn't be getting these checks. And again, I don't really like to come in with my opinions, but that's probably a fair argument, right? People earning over $200,000, I mean, do they really need monthly checks in the amount of $250 or $300 every single month? I mean, again, I'm not going to throw my opinion in there, but I'll leave that up to you to decide if somebody earning $200,000 a year needs a $250 or $300 check every month. I don't know. Sounds like golf course money to me, but I'm just throwing that out there. But anyway, we'll have to see what actually happens out of that. But leave me your comments down below. Let me know what you think if, somebody earning $200,000 a year needs a $250 check. Again, just curious what you have to say. All right, but anyway, so these are some of the changes that Joe Manchin wants out of the bill. So it's not a whole lot, but rather he wants it just changed up a little bit. He also reiterated that his top line number is $1.75 trillion. So that is the top line that he has reiterated multiple times. He's been talking about it for many, many months now. And once again, they actually ran the price tag way over that 1.75. So they're sitting more at like 2.2 trillion right now in accordance with the House version of the bill. So they're way over where he said he would actually support. So again, it's just like what we've been talking about for a while now. We talked about this yesterday, and we'll talk about it again here for just a second. And that is just like every time, this is probably going to be a done deal. They will get it done. Just a matter of how long is it really going to take. So, okay, fine. They had a little bit of opposition, but whatever, you know what I mean? It's just part of the negotiation process. Yes, of course, we wanted this thing to get done a long time ago, and we wanted this whole thing to be wrapped up by the end of this week, but realistically, it might take a little bit longer than that, and that's what happens sometimes. I know, it's unfortunate, but again, it's either we wait it out a little bit longer or it doesn't get done at all, right? So I think at this point, unfortunately, we might just need to wait it out a little bit longer. However, between now and then, we may just be looking at another COVID relief bill. And I brought this to you just a couple days ago as introduced by one of the Democratic representatives who's talking about introducing a new COVID relief bill because of everything going on right now, which, by the way, is a perfect segue right into talking about the president will be out tomorrow addressing us on all of these new restrictions? We don't really know. We have no clue what he's going to talk about. But tomorrow, the president will be out addressing us on the COVID situation going into the winter. So, I have no clue. We're not really sure what he's going to talk about. There's some speculation and some different items out there that I've seen talked about a number of different times as far as what he could be talking about. But if we wanted to throw down some money on this, I could probably guarantee you what I know a few things he's going to talk about, right? Because he talks about it every time he comes out. So I know a few things for sure that will be mentioned. But other than that, I'm not really sure if there's going to be more restrictions put in place or who knows what. I mean, honestly, I'm not even going to go out on a limb and start guessing because there's just no point. But tomorrow, we'll need to keep our eyes and ears peeled to see what the president is going to be talking about in regards to these announcements. Maybe it'll be interesting, and maybe it just will be the same old song and dance that we've heard a million times now every time that he talks about this stuff. So I'm not really sure, but we'll have to continue watching and see what that announcement actually is tomorrow. And of course, I'll bring that to you as we get that information, but it might be kind of interesting. A lot of weird stuff going on out there right now, especially with this massive spread of COVID right now, right? So, by the way, I saw one little tidbit. I did not read into it very far, but it looks like just in 24 hours, it looks like just the cases in Los Angeles have doubled. Now, I don't know if Los Angeles had like 2 cases before and now they have 4, or if they had 20 and now they have 40. I'm not really sure. Like I said, I didn't read into it too much, but all I said, I just saw a headline that said Los Angeles cases doubled in 24 hours. So again, I mean, what are we talking here? What kind of numbers are we really talking? So I didn't look into it that close to get those numbers. But anyway, when it comes to the stimulus package, again, they're going to get this thing done. They will ultimately get it done. And of course, what actually gets pretty much taken out of this package or added into it? What does the final bill actually look like after it runs through the committees and after they actually debate this thing out? That's still up in the air. Nobody's going to know that until we actually get the final information on this bill. But This is where we currently stand as of right now. So it does look like Joe Manchin is willing to come back to the table, which is no surprise. Once again, we kind of anticipated this. And we'll have to see where this actually goes. But this is where we stand as of right now. So as of yesterday, it looks like it was all bets off. And now today, it looks like, oh, fine, all bets back on. But we just don't know when those bets will actually be brought into fruition, right? So anyway, this is what I have for you as of right now. I'll continue watching everything closely. I'll be back a little bit later as there's already some things cooking out there, and I'll be back with those updates a little bit later. So enjoy your day. Thank you so much for watching this. I really do appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button right down below the video. It's totally free to do so, as I'm here for you each and every day as your one and only daily advocate, helping you out in any way that I possibly can. Stay safe out there. Go back and check out some of the other 2,000 videos right here on the channel. Enjoy. Have a nice day, and I'll catch you again in the next one. Thanks for watching this. I really do appreciate you. I'll see you later.